Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Automotive Junkie podcast, EP002. I'm your host, Dave Tomasetti from Engineered Automotive, and cool little background I got behind me here. So, podcast is about what you need to know before you buy a used vehicle. So, I'm going to share with you some tips on educating yourself, making yourself aware, where to buy, negotiation tactics, things like that throughout this podcast. So you can imagine, based on what's going on with the new vehicle market, there are no new vehicles on the lot. The demand is so high that, we have supply chain issues, we have inventory issues with the new car dealerships, and that's driving up the used car market. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's driving up in a bad way because prices are through the roof still, okay? We've seen them come down a bit on certain models and stabilize, but I'm telling you, even high mileage pieces of crap out there are still fetching some top dollar, and that's not right. So I'm going to help you go through the steps here that'll help you find vehicles that, let's say if you're looking for one, there's certain steps you should take in order to make your experience a lot easier. Cool? Awesome. All right. So there's about 8 tips I'm going to describe to you. Okay. First of all, you're going to have to decide what vehicle you want. All right. You're going to research that vehicle, where to buy, the going price rates for these vehicles in the market. You need to call your insurance company to get a quick quote. You make sure that you can afford the insurance on this vehicle, right? So make sure that there is a Carfax history report attached to this vehicle, and I'll talk more about the Carfax process further down the podcast. Make sure the vehicle is branded as none. I'll go into more detail about this. This is regarding your green ownership. When you purchase the vehicle, or if you're looking at a vehicle to buy, I want you to look at the ownership, okay? Go for a road test. If you like this vehicle, go for a road test. Ask questions. Be confident. Don't be intimidated, okay? Have the vehicle inspected at an authorized, licensed, independent facility. Do a pre-purchase inspection on it, okay? And finally, understanding negotiation with the seller before you buy. Those are the 8 tips I'm going to go into detail with you on this podcast. And you'll be able to get all this information on my website, which I'll show you, which I will tell you at the end of the podcast. So you have to listen or watch the podcast. You got to hear me out, man. Some good stuff in here. So number 1, let's start, okay? Decide on the vehicle you want. Do the research of the vehicle, okay? I know I have 3 boys, and I know what cars they want. Can I afford them? Shit, no. So buying a used vehicle, we just got to bring them down to reality in this world and say, okay, here's the budget we work with. Decide on the vehicle you want to go with, okay? Consider which features are necessities and which are luxuries. Evaluate a car's make, model, the going price, the fuel economy, safety rating is a big thing, the size of the vehicle, and the driving experience, right? So there are 3 types of engines that I'm going to talk about. And they are beneficial in many ways, and some they're not. So first of all, if your vehicle is a diesel, so if you're going to be on a long commute for school, for towing, diesel may work for you, okay? But with the astronomical price of diesel fuel, just do your research and calculate the mileage, per 100 kilometers per liter. Just calculate all that before you get into, thinking that a diesel is the way to go. The way diesel prices are now, you just got to do your research, okay? That's why, for me, a gas engine, even though our gas prices are fluctuating nonstop, and it's going up. Sometimes it come down. I do believe that it's going to be coming down to the point where it is manageable and affordable. I'm a gas engine guy. I have to hear the engine. I have to feel the power. I have to smell the gas. I love going to the gas station. I love pumping gas. I love the smell of gas. That's just me. Okay, so to me, a gas engine for me is what I would look for in buying a used vehicle. And also the third one would be electric. So if electric is your choice, then please research it and find out everything about this. You know, the mileage of the vehicle is a big thing on those electric cars. All electric cars, I should say. You know, those batteries are consumable items. I mean, they're going to eventually end up and have to be replaced. So just consider, you know, the maintenance of these vehicles. It's not my choice at all. And for those who know me, I vocalize my disappointment with an all-electric vehicle. Okay? Hybrids, I'm okay with, because you still have a gas combustible engine and an electric motor. So in some cases, the gas engines will charge the battery up in those electric cars, in the hybrids. I'm just not comfortable yet driving an all-electric vehicle at this stage of the game. Okay? I'm just not comfortable with it. They have not figured out logistically the charging stations, you know, where they are situated in roads, you know, what kind of mileage you have till the next station, and what if you can't make it there? What are you going to do? You got, you know, like, what, you got to go to somebody's house and fucking plug it in for an hour and have a coffee with them? I mean, no, that's just not something that I want to deal with at the moment. And the used prices for these vehicles are still on the high side. So just keep that in mind if you're choosing the vehicle and the type of engines that it has. Okay. Number 2, research your vehicle prices and where to buy. Okay. There are tons of resources online. The Auto Trader, classified ads, as well as online reviews. They will typically have the current retail prices that you can base on the market. Okay. Another good app that actually a real good app that I use all the time is it's called the letter K, the letter B, the letter B. So the Kelley Blue Book app. If you Google that, download that app on your smartphone. This app will tell you what the vehicles are worth on the retail market. And if you have a vehicle that you want to consider trading in to move up to another vehicle, this also gives you a trade-in price based on, obviously, condition of the vehicle, mileage, and the year of the vehicle. So you can use that as a negotiation technique. I really like the app. So I'm going to show you on the screen right now the app so you guys can see it. And need to download that app and go through it. Just play around with it. You know, choose a vehicle, where to buy a vehicle, the prices. It's an awesome app. KBB, the Kelley Blue Book app. Okay, it's free. It has a ton of information on there. All right. Another resource to look at too is, and you have to really, I think you have to be experienced on this, is public auctions. Online public auctions, I should say. They are growing in popularity online. Here's my thoughts on it. They can be a great tool and a great site for selling a specific vehicle, you know, a rare year, you know, make and model of that sort. And, you know, but for buying a car, buying a vehicle, and it's your first time buying, you know, you have to rely on the seller's reputation, the website's reputation, descriptions, the pictures, all that, videos. Let me tell you something. You're buying it sight unseen. Okay, you're not touching it. You're not feeling it. You're not like sitting in the seat. You're not smelling it. You're not driving it. You're buying it as is. Just be very careful. And sometimes the vehicles are like, you know, out of town, so you have to bring that. You're gonna have to go and get it, tow it, bring it here. So you just have to really research of the value of what you want to spend, because there's a ton of other costs associated with online auctions. So just be very careful, read the fine print, and go through the website. And it will tell you step by step. They're pretty transparent on what you need to pay, because you got to pay the website, you got to pay gotta pay everything. Pay. That's what it's all about. Okay. Another way to look for vehicles is actually look at your local new car dealership. They'll have a used car lot, and they'll have a bunch of vehicles in there that might catch your eye. So trust me, go in there, have a look online what they have in stock. And if, let's say, you're looking at an Acura dealership and you're looking for an Acura vehicle, they'll typically have an Acura vehicle on their used car lot that's within the 4-year parameters. So like the warranty is still active of a 4-year 80 if it's under 80,000 kilometers. And what's good about this is that if you buy a same brand used vehicle at a dealership, at a new car dealership, they'll put on what's called a CPO, or a certified pre-owned warranty, which could be an additional year or 2-year warranty on that vehicle. Something to think about. That's a great value for that, for those type of vehicles. If it's another brand manufacturer on their lot, usually there won't be a warranty on it, because I mean, obviously they don't service those vehicles. They can't warranty it, obviously. So just have a look, check often on their website, and and see what they have. Okay, if you're going to find a vehicle on a used car lot, there are so many out there. They will offer you aftermarket warranties. Please stay away from those aftermarket warranties. They're piles of shit. Okay, all they do is basically find a way not to pay or not to cover for your repairs that you have, thinking that it's under warranty. There's fine print under fine print under fine print that'll leave you paying for the repairs, because the shop is not going to cover it. They're not going to pay for it. They're not going to collect the money off that company. There's no way at all. We, as a shop, we dealt with a couple companies that were aftermarket warranty companies. We axed that after 1 year. It was a disaster. Okay, please be careful on these aftermarket warranties. This is my opinion, by the way, and my experience on this stuff. So take it how you want to take it. This is what it's about in reality. Okay, they can give you all the bells and whistles on this stuff. Oh, you're covered top to bottom, bumper to bumper, 6-year or 8-year, 160,000 kilometers, blah blah blah. You have to go to these shops and they'll take care of it for you. Bullshit. Be very careful. Read the fine print under fine print. Okay, so number 3, call your insurance company. Make sure that you can afford this vehicle per year for the insurance, or monthly, however you have it set up. Get a quick quote from the insurance company. They should probably give it to you within the same day, and just understand that that the insurance might be quite high for the vehicle that you want. So be prepared to walk away and move on. That's what's going to happen. So understand that. Don't get yourself in a predicament where you cannot afford it. You can afford the vehicle, but you can't afford the insurance. And then what? Well, you're not going to be driving that vehicle. So make sure you could afford the insurance on this car, on the vehicle, whether it's car or truck, doesn't really matter, on this used vehicle. Number 4, ask the seller if there is a Carfax history report attached to this vehicle. Carfax is like a third-party company that provides you data on this particular vehicle. So every vehicle will have a VIN number, which is a vehicle identification number. It's usually located on the dashboard, on the door jamb, and it's like a 17-digit number with letters in it. A honest seller will give you the Carfax paperwork with the vehicle when they sell it, to let you know that, hey, here's the history of the vehicle. It gives you full service history. It gives you when the car was registered on the road, how many owners own this car, because it registers from the Ministry of Transportation. It lets you know how many owners has changed hands in this vehicle. But what's good about this is that it could also uncover, potential collision reports that were not disclosed by the seller, saying, "Oh, this car has never been in an accident." So you just got to be very careful. Vehicles that have a collision report history on the Carfax, listen, it could be good or it could be bad. Just understand something here, just based on my experience. If you see a $3,000 collision repair, okay, it doesn't mean the car was written off. You can have a headlight that costs $2,500 from the dealership, okay, and then plus labor, and you're already up to over $3,000. But it's only could be a little minor fender bender where it just smashed the headlight. Things like that. Just be very careful. You should really read what the actual report tells you about that repair, and that'll tell you if there's anything structure, or just superficial dings and bumps and grinds and small little collisions can add up, man. Could be in a $5,000 range. So just look at that and understand that. But something else you have to be careful of, okay, and that's why I'm going to talk to you about the pre-purchase inspections later on down the podcast here, is that you should really read the report. If you think the car has been in a terrible accident, bad paint job, or whatever it may be, you notice these things right off the bat, and you see a clean Carfax report, chances are that it has been at a body shop, but they paid cash, no invoice for it. So it doesn't get registered with the ministry or for Carfax, and you'll never see that on there. I've seen countless of reports where it shows it's a clean car. You look at it, the bumper's painted pretty shitty in the hood. It's awful. So again, bring somebody with you that you may know these vehicles or may understand what the paint work is. But listen, when I talk about the pre-purchase inspections, you'll have a much clearer understanding of what's going on. So have a look at the Carfax history report. An honest seller will give you that report with a vehicle, okay? And even if you look online, you'll see Carfax report clean, or it may have a little red stripe to it, meaning that the car may have an open recall from the dealership. So it has to go to the dealership for something to do with a recall that doesn't cost you anything. You just have to go to the dealership. So it's a book. It tells you everything about that vehicle, of the service history vehicle, and if it's a U.S. vehicle, if it's a Canadian vehicle, it tells you everything. So it's good to read that. And sometimes what the used car places will do is they'll actually disclose the paperwork online that you can download and have a look at it, which is really good. That to me is confidence that I would buy from that company, and they're not going to pull a fast one on me. If the seller does not want to supply you with a Carfax history report, two things you can do: get the fuck out, or you pay the $50 if you really like this car and it looks good. You pay the $50. You go online with the VIN number. You order your Carfax history report online, and it will come to you instantly, and you can have a look for yourself. If the vehicle's clean, then you can move on to the next step and have a look at this car, underneath and paintwork and so forth. So that's what I want to talk about on the Carfax. Need to have it. It's a peace of mind. Okay, it's worth it when looking for a vehicle. Number 5, make sure the vehicle is branded as none. The word none, N-O-N-E. Okay, something to keep in mind. When you have on the green ownership, and I'm going to put it up on the screen now, you'll see on the green ownership, on the left-hand side, you're going to see up on the on the front section, left hand, you'll see brand, and it's going to say either none, it's going to say salvage, it's going to say rebuilt, or irreparable. Okay. If you want, and once you get into, if you really like this vehicle and you've gone through the whole steps have a look at ask them for the ownership. First of all, the ownership tells you if the vehicle is in that person's name. So you're not pulling a fast one by buying somebody else's vehicle without, thinking that you're buying it from this person when you're not. So it's always good to really understand that there are people that are going to pull fast ones on you. Also, it gives you an understanding that that the vehicle is, that it's branded and it's clean. The vehicle is clean. Nothing's happened to it. When I say clean, when you have a vehicle that is written off, like crashed, and it goes to the auction, and you have another shop that buys it. Well, when you buy it from the insurance company, when a vehicle buys a written off vehicle from an insurance company, it can be classified as salvage, and once they fix it or rebuild it and it gets approved, then the ownership is going to say rebuilt on it. So keep in mind that something seriously happened to this vehicle and a structured crash, this vehicle will never drive the same ever. I don't care who worked on it, what vehicle it is. When you have a major collision that's involving structure or framework or major suspension work, the vehicle will never drive perfectly the way you got it or the way this car is supposed to be. It's just never going to happen. So just keep that in mind, that on that ownership, you need to find out what it says on there. So if it says none, that means it's a clean vehicle. Salvage, rebuilt, or irreparable, to me, I'd get out. Get out. Move on to the next vehicle. It's not worth it. If the prices of this vehicle is considerably low, which in some cases it will be, then maybe have a second look at it, or consider, if you want this vehicle, if you really want this vehicle and it's a great price, but it's been salvaged or rebuilt, then you should take it to, obviously you're going to take it to get it pre-purchase inspection and spend the extra bit of time with the technician and go through it, make sure that all the repairs that were disclosed or that they can see have been repaired properly. And then, listen, if the price is like ridiculously a great deal, then I get it. Okay. But in this case, I don't want to confuse you or complicate you. Try to keep the vehicle as clean as you can by having the brand being none. That's all. That's on the green ownership. So ask for that. Okay. If you want to know more about all the brands of vehicle salvage, irreparable, and rebuilt, I'll have that all on my website, and it'll explain to you in complete detail of what's going on. Okay. If you ever see an ownership that says irreparable and the vehicle's branded irreparable, the vehicle has been written off. It's a total loss, can only be used for parts or scrap, cannot be driven again in Ontario. Please do not get coaxed into saying that, oh, if it's irreparable, don't worry about it. We fixed it. It's okay. Go take it for a drive. There are a lot of shysters out there that will not disclose certain history events that may have happened to this vehicle. So please ask questions. Big question a lot of people ask is, has this vehicle been in an accident? If they outright say, no, it hasn't been an accident, the Carfax shows that it's clean, and blah, 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 you know what? That's what the pre-purchase inspection will really show, and I'm going to talk about that further down the podcast. Like I mentioned, it's a very big, important step on your making your final decision on this vehicle. Number 6, go for a road test. And again, be confident. Don't be intimidated. If you're at this, if you're at this point of the process, you should go for the test drive. So everything checks out fine above it in our list. Go for the road test. You as the buyer, potential buyer, should be driving this vehicle, not the seller. Drive the vehicle, okay? Go for at least 30 minutes. You need to listen while you're driving. If the guy's yapping away and talking and blah, 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 just say, listen, sorry, can you just please, I just want to hear the way this car rides and drives, and Like accelerate the vehicle. If you hear something really like an odd noise coming from the engine as you accelerate, chance there's something wrong. Listen while you're driving above, let's say, 50 to 60 kilometers an hour to the 100-kilometer-hour mark. If you hear a howling noise or it sounds like a biplane, there could be wheel bearing issues, drivetrain bearings, a differential. I mean, keep in mind, like, I need you to be open and listen for things, okay? You could also have a tire noise. Totally get it. I totally understand. And that's where, when you do take it for a pre-purchase, you'll get that report from the technician. Listen, like I said, for any abnormal engine sounds while you're driving, like even when it's idling, when you're stopped, open the hood, pop the hood open and see if you hear anything like any loud ticking noise or anything of knocking noises. Also look at the dashboard. Look at the instrument cluster. Make sure it's not lit up like a Christmas tree, okay? And make sure the check engine light isn't on or flashing. The tire pressure warning light might be on. Okay, the tires, it could be sensor issues, brake warning, anything. Ask if you're not comfortable. Why is this on? Why is this? Oh, we'll fix that for you. We'll fix it for you. Yeah, you are going to fix that for them. So feel the brakes while you're driving the vehicle. Let's say you're driving around, above 80 kilometers, between 80 to 100, and you apply the brakes. Not slamming it, just apply the brakes, and you feel like a pulsation on your feet or maybe your back or in the seat, indication that the brake rotors are warped or they've been sitting on a lot for so long and the moisture got to it and no one's driven it, and you can feel the brake pads on the rotor. You're going to feel that whole thing on the pedal when you start braking. So ask questions, tell them, these brakes feel a little, but that's part of safety. Okay. Again, it's all been part of your pre-purchase inspection when you take it to the dealer, to the independent facility. Go through the whole dashboard, check the heater, check the AC to see if it works, if it has AC, check everything, power windows, seatbelts. Just go through the car, make sure it's, open the trunk, make sure there's no water in the cavities of where the spare tire may be. Pull up the cover for the spare tire. A lot of people don't see that there are, there could be a battery back there. There could be electronics back there. And if it's submerged in water, walk away. Okay. Things like that you need to see before you go spend the money at a pre-purchase inspection. Okay. So the car or the vehicle that you're looking at, if it passes your approval, let's say, or somebody's with you saying, hey, you know what, this car is great. Okay. Then it's time to say, okay, you know what? I'll take it for a pre-purchase. If you feel and see all these if you see a ton of water or something going on, like electronics are not working, and I would just walk away from this vehicle. Okay. Which leads to this number 7. Take the vehicle for a pre-purchase inspection. Okay. Get an independent licensed mechanic to give the vehicle a detailed inspection. Bring the Carfax report with you, as you want to verify that any previous damage was reported properly or repaired properly. Okay. I would probably take it to somebody that is that or a high referral from somebody that you know of, and it's a licensed technician. Okay. These technicians are going to be your eyes and ears for this purchase, for this experience. Okay. They'll generally take it for a road test. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. In our shop at Engineered Automotive, we will take the vehicle and we'll do a 2-hour pre-purchase inspection. 1 hour for the safety requirements mandated by the Ministry of Transportation. There's a list that it gives you. Any oil leaks, coolant leaks, anything that is deemed not fit for the laws of the Ministry of Transportation, and we'll just mark it down and we'll tell you that it will not pass inspection. The other hour we'll inspect for visual collision damage, and suspension damage and interior damage-ish if you see like discoloration or water damage of that sort. So we're going to provide you also, which is really good. Not a lot of shops do this, but I hope they do now, is actually a paint inspection, a paint thickness inspection. That is where it's going to tell you if, let's say the car was it was like a really decent car, perfect paint work, it worked out really well, where you drove it, it looks great, feels great, but the paint, so there's a tool that gives us the thickness of the paint. Goes from the metal to the machine, tells you the thickness of the paint. If the paint is thick, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think if it's above 5 or 6, if it's above 6 millimeters, that means that it has been painted. Okay, anything above that, then it has, like, you know, what they call so-called Bondo or filler that you know is thickening up that area, and the machine is going to basically takes the depth from the machine to the paint, to the metal of the vehicle, and it gives you a depth rating. So it is something that really can determine if there's issues with the bodywork, with, you know, repair issues, and it just gives you. We just write the report down, and we'll advise you afterwards how you want to proceed. So just keep in mind that's very important to have that paint thickness check on a pre-purchase. If a shop doesn't provide that, I can't tell you if it's not law. It's just something that we do. That's why you're going to spend, you know, $200 to $300 at a really thorough shop, okay, doing a pre-purchase inspection, because depending on the vehicle, you know, there's a lot of time involved in checking things over, and the technician will tell you if there's going to be, you know, we need more time, we got to check this and check that. So you know, they'll walk you through the experience. A proper shop will walk you through experience of this pre-purchase inspection. Again, they're your eyes and ears. Okay, you're trusting them. Be careful on those $89.95 or $100 inspections. Not into those. Okay, they're just gonna quickly look at it, go for road tests. They're gonna do this. We spend 2 hours, folks. Okay, most shops will spend 2 hours to make sure that, hey, this is great. And in the end, let me tell you something. Okay, you're going to spend $200 to $300 on a pre-purchase inspection, but if you're spending $20,000 or $15,000 to $20,000 on a vehicle, that's well worth the money to put $200 to $300 into something that you have a peace of mind that knowing this vehicle is 100, like it's what it says, it's what it shows. The technician says, check, this vehicle is very good, go ahead and buy it. Because in the end, that technician or our shop would want you to come back to us for service work. Okay, that's the whole point. We're not going to say, yeah, that vehicle is awesome. Okay, go ahead, and it needs brakes, it needs this, needs that, and all of a sudden you think they're going to come to you for that? Absolutely not. Okay, they're not going to come to you at all. Number 8, final tip. Number 8. Okay, negotiations. And it is, you know, there's a lot of people that will use a family member, like a father or mother, to, you know, or a brother or an older person to negotiate the prices. Okay, when you're ready to negotiate, keep in mind that you should already have an idea on what this vehicle is worth to you in your head. Okay, you don't want to lowball any seller. Okay, as this will just change the tone and the vibe of the experience, and you'll be like disappointed because the person's going to say, you know what, screw you, or no. Because what's going to happen, I'm telling you, that there's somebody behind you that's going to buy that vehicle when you leave, if you leave that purchase. Just be fair. If it really is something that is you cannot negotiate, then obviously one of you two is going to back away and walk away. Plain and simple. So if you can come to an agreement and a nice price down the middle where the negotiated price is going to be, then you're going to have the great experience. I want you to go in knowing the price. Okay? If you have the inspection report with you, discuss with them any deficiencies that it may have. So if the brakes needs brakes or it needs tires, because in the end, the vehicle has to be safetied. It has to be safetied by the ministry under the laws of the Ministry of Transportation. Okay? That's the whole thing about this inspection. Bring the deficiency list with you. They have that used car lot or that private seller. They have to get that vehicle safetied. So they have to go to a shop to get it done, or their dealership to get it safetied and certified is what it is. Okay? Under the laws of Ministry of Transportation, they need to get this vehicle fit for the road. Okay? If there are things that are not part of safety, then obviously the seller can say, "Hey, I'm not fixing this. That's not part of safety." But someone who's, that's the whole point. If you're going to go in aggressively and lowball them, they're not going to do shit for you. Okay, they're going to do shit all for you. But if you go in and you you know what the price is going to be, but you say, "Hey, listen, there's a couple lights inside the dash and that's not illuminated," or things that are not part of safety, and there's no winter floor mats and blah blah blah. Sometimes they'll just say, "You know what? I will put in this for you. I'll take care of that for you. No problem at all. The car will even be detailed for you." Okay? So just go in. Don't be a jerk. Go in and just do your thing. Be fair about it, okay? Both ways. All right? And you have to understand one thing is that you come to an agreement on a price, you have to pay the sales tax on that amount, okay? So make sure you're budgeted for this. So be confident, be respectful, know your bottom line price that you want to pay. Don't rush your decision. Don't rush, and don't be rushed by the seller, okay? If the seller is rushing you to say, "Hey, I got somebody else involved. I want somebody else is looking at this vehicle," or "I got to get going," this and that. You know what? Tell them, "No problem. Then I'm done. I'm going to walk away." Then you know that this was the right thing for you. It's an investment for you. It's an investment that you're paying. In some cases, a large one. So make sure you're comfortable. If not, get out of there. Okay? I'm going to stress it again. Remember to be prepared to walk away from this. Don't fall in love because it looks great, it sounds good, and it's what you wanted. Do your homework. Once decided on a final price and you are ready and you're buying from a used vehicle lot or a dealer, they will handle all the vehicle transfer, the ownership to your name with new plates. The car will be cleaned. That should all be incorporated in the price. Okay? That should all be part of the price. You shouldn't have them say, "Oh, it's going to cost you $500 to register the vehicle." No. You need to know what the price is, it to be in your name. Okay? That's what it is. Give me the prices of what the plate's going to cost, the transfer, the ownership. They already incorporate that in the price. So if they're trying to charge you more, just understand that, hey, listen, I didn't expect that. Maybe you can help a bit more in the price to offset that a bit, okay? Work it out a bit. Things you can talk about with the seller. So in Ontario, every privately sold vehicle must be accompanied by a used vehicle information package, which is called a UVIP, UVIP, from the Ministry of Transportation, okay? So if you're buying a vehicle from a private person, not a dealership or a used car lot, they must provide you with that UVIP package. I think it's like $20. And what that does, it contains a description of the vehicle, the VIN number, the vehicle identification number, the year, make, and model. It also gives you the retail tax requirements, a bill of sale, and tips on vehicle safety standard inspections. Okay, so they pretty much give you all these little things to help you purchase from a private person, private seller. The seller must show you this package to the buyer as it plays a role in finalizing the sale of the vehicle. Okay? Talk about Carfax, not valid for this process. It doesn't have to be. So a private person or a private seller doesn't have to get a Carfax at all. It would be great if they paid the money, the seller provided the Carfax for this vehicle, and it just makes that whole experience a lot easier. Saying, hey, you know what? I trust this person. I trust this seller. He's brought the Carfax with me. He's brought the UVIP for me. The car is clean. It is ready to go. And once you decide on that whole process of pre-purchase, road test, blah, blah, blah with the private seller, and you're ready to, and you've purchased this vehicle, okay, the seller has to give you the vehicle permit. So basically, on the back of the green ownership, they're gonna sign the application for transfer. They're just gonna sign their name, the back of the vehicle portion of the registration, and the completed bill of sale from UVIP. So with their name, signature, date of purchase to the buyer. So in most cases, a lot of people will say, hey, listen, this car was, you've agreed that this car was, let's say, $5,000, right? But you write on the bill of sale that it was, that it was $2,500. So you're going to take that $2,500 bill of sale and go to the ministry. Ministry is going to look at you in two ways. They're going to say, yeah, okay, you paid $2,500, but the car is worth $5,000. So you're paying the tax on the higher amount. So you have to be just understand that whatever price you negotiate on, you're paying the tax on that. Okay. Sometimes the blue book value might be a little bit low, and you might get a different number, but budget yourself on the high side that it's going to be 13% of what the price of the vehicle you paid at. Okay. Because they know what's going to be. Everybody has done their research. Okay. Everyone's done their research. And you have to also provide a proof of insurance when you go to the Ministry of Transportation to get this car registered in your name. So it's a different process when it comes to the car lot world and doing it privately, because with private you need to do the entire transfer of the ownership. You need to get the safety certificate done on your the seller should provide that for you, as well as you need to take those two pieces of information, proof of insurance, the safety standard certificate that you get from the mechanic shop. It could be a bit of a process. It could take a ton of time to do, and especially if there's a massive lineup. And God forbid you forget a piece of paper that you're supposed to bring. Oh my God, you have to go back out, come back in. The experience at the Ministry of Transportation in most cases is not an enjoyable one. So make sure you have every single document you need. Everything can be found on the MTO site of what you need for when you buy privately from a private seller, and I'll list all that as well on the website as well as at the end of the podcast. So it's a bit of a process, and you need to make sure you get the paperwork is done right. Okay. On my website, I'll provide you a point form, a easy to understand cheat sheet for the next time when you are in the market to buy a used vehicle. It'll be the website should be on the bottom. If not, and you're listening to me on Spotify, it's www.ea.works, WORKS pages, PAGES / buying, BUYING. So if you go on the website, our pre-purchase inspections, sample pre-purchase inspections will be on there as well, so you get an idea what we look for. And again, it's a detailed report. We're your eyes and ears. So if you feel comfortable, let's say you want a vehicle and you're like, Dave, listen, I love what you talked about, and I know your shop and you're extensive. I want to book a PPI in with you guys. Well, I'll make sure that in our shop we'll take you in the next day for sure. Okay, if we're booked up solid, doesn't matter. Pre-purchase inspections, you don't want to lose that sale. Okay, for you, that is the buyer. So we'll take it in. We'll look at the pre-purchase inspection. So you can just give us a call. You can email us. You can email me at dave@ea.works or give us a call at 905-660-1884. You can speak to myself or Mike. I put a plug in for Engineered. Yes, so give Engineered a call if you need to have something done. We safety inspections all makes and models, high-end exotics, sports cars. It doesn't really matter what vehicle it is. We'll safety that, and we'll give you an honest opinion of what's going to be. And I'm sure there's other shops that will do the same thing. Okay, so if you feel comfortable with other places, by all means. I'm not knocking anybody at all. We all know each other, okay? We all know it's a small industry. You don't want to burn bridges. You just do the job. Be transparent. Don't mess around and lie and this and that. Just get it done. As shop owners and shop, managers, whatever, just tell it like it is, man. Okay? You're not benefiting anything at all. So, again, I hope, this helps you or anybody on your next purchase, making the experience a lot smoother. And listen, if you have any questions, get a hold of me. Send me an email and or give me a call, and I'll do my best to respond quickly. I do receive a lot of emails, so bear with me. It's great. I mean, the vehicles that we have in our shop for sale it is operated by another individual that I will have a guest on. He'll be a guest on my podcast as well. He's got some crazy cool vehicles that he gets from around the world that are imported to Canada. He's a cool cat. He operates out of our showroom in our company, and I'll be chatting with him up in the near future. And some people know him. I mean, he's well out there in the Asian vehicle market. Foaz from Eclection Cars, great guy. So I'll be talking to him soon. Look for that on the next podcast on the schedules. Whew, I think I covered it all, and I hope that you guys kind of understand what's going on and making this experience of buying a vehicle of what you need to know when you next time you want to buy a vehicle. So thank you so much for listening and watching and this podcast. And let you know that we are on Spotify. The link will be I'll put it up on my screen here. On Spotify, just search the Automotive Junkie. Also, we're on YouTube and at EA_TV. You'll find us there, or just search the Automotive Junkie podcast. You'll find my ugly face in the picture. And that's pretty much it. Facebook, we're all over the place. IG, our website, please follow us. I mean, we want to grow the podcast. I mean, with me, the podcast is such a passionate thing for me. Looking for growth organically, man. Just follow us. We got some great cats coming on board for guests, and cool cars, cool vehicles, cars and coffee. It's going to be cool, man. We have so many great ideas that I can't wait to share with you all. So just hit us up on YouTube, follow us, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. I don't know where it is on this thing. Maybe over here somewhere, whatever. Just hit a subscribe button on Spotify as well as YouTube. So thank you so much, everybody, and stay tuned until next time on the Automotive Junkie podcast. I am your host, Dave Tomasetti from Engineered Automotive, and we're all about educate, entertaining, and pushing the automotive culture. Thank you so much, and take care.